Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for our panelists for being here. Um, Regrettably, we are on a late start. The minister is, last time we called his man is Wayne, and he should be arriving shortly. But nonetheless, there is Jeffrey to come and bring us greetings.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening, especially to our esteemed panelists. We're very grateful to have you here today. Very grateful to have you guys here with us here in the dining room and here on YouTube, on our YouTube channel for this year's Irvine House Monday Forum under the theme Positive Male Role Models. Now, as we know, in society, a positive male role model is something that's very essential for the prosperity of the next generation. So, to have a session like this and to have persons like this who are able to speak to us and speak on such a topic, we should be very much grateful for. And we're very glad to have them here. So as they're going to come and speak to us, let's listen keenly. We have our questions. We have the things that we want to talk about here. I know that they have the things that they want to talk to us about. So let's just have a very fun and interactive session that's beneficial to everybody. All right? Yeah. All right. At this. At this point, I'm going to be inviting our guests here, our panelists, to introduce themselves. I'll be starting right here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wade McIntosh.
No man, talk about the accolades, man. You hear them say, pass RAV Bex, no man, all cheer and things. Right.
Me, the one thing that makes me a positive role model is that I don't bullshit anybody. The accolades are there, but the accolades don't necessarily make you who you are. So, but before we get into the meeting, I was all chairman of the great Terrelonge. I'm of course happy for you. I became an area of vets, mafia, not there, vets, mafia, alpha, and for 1 week, Falcon. I'm a lecturer here, a lecturer in marketing, consumer behavior, psychology. I'm also a marketer by profession, market regionally and internationally, locally as a consultant. I'm also, I believe that right, I can answer that.
All right, thanks, man. All right, so, my name is Kevaughn Campbell. Currently, I've also been a national representative for a very long time. I swam for Jamaica for quite a number of years. I'm a past organizer as well. I lived here for my first degree. Don't have that many things to speak of that company, but yeah, let's see what the night brings us.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Kymani, and I'm a double major student in social sciences, double major in economics and banking and finance. There's a few things about me. I went to the school of Monroe College, where I served as one of the deputy prefects, as well as on the NSSC Body Arts Regional 5 Student Council Vice President. Currently, I am the youth treasurer, and previously I was a social sciences representative. And it's a pleasure to be here tonight, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
So, good night, everyone. I'm supposed to say my name and the positive role model. I'm not sure. I'm not got the invitation to be here, but I'm assuming demonstrating. And it's an honor to be here. But the name is Nile, of course, Irvine and past block representative, very proudly so. I am also Governor General awardee. I currently serve on the Guild of Students as the Vice President of Services and Projects. that happen out.
Good evening. My name is Damone. See what makes me a positive role model. What I think makes me a positive role model is my emphasis on the academic community that I serve. Currently, I'm a law student at the Faculty of Law, and I really enjoy participating in discussions like this, especially to exchange knowledge that I have gained, even back here. I'm not sure if you remember, even past lecture for a leader of extraordinary gentlemen, a very positive role model. Yeah, also. So, again, I think about that. Okay, so I think we have positive and role model.
Alright. Thank you to our panelists. Once the minister is here, you can hear from him as well. But right now, we'll have the introduction of our host. Our host is none other than D'Angelo Moore, the Black Youth representative of the Nile veterans. Oh, that's good. Just well, at this point, we'll have the introduction from Mr. Terrelonge. So, just to introduce yourself and what's your idea of what makes you a positive male.
Good evening. I thought I saw them. I don't. Okay, so more than. All right. Good evening, gentlemen of Irvine, Paul, and our sisters who are here with us as well. The name is Alando, Terrelonge, attorney at law, member of parliament, and the Minister of State in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. Well, it is my pleasure to be here. I wish I would have been here a little earlier, but we had another function at the Pegasus. So we just wrapped it up, and so here I am. And what makes me a positive male role model? I suppose it's because I believe in passing it on. You know, I believe that to those who the universe has favored, I believe that we all have a duty to ensure that the next generation of young kings and young queens that they benefit from the wealth of knowledge of our experiences. Because what is a man but not the sum total of the experiences that he's had? And so I believe that we should all strive to be lit, to lead, inspire, and transform. And I'll stop there, and then I suppose as we go through the rest of the night, then we can delve more into it. Nice. Cheers.
Thank you, sir. Now, at this point, we have the introduction from Mr. Moore.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Name is D'Angelo Moore, the doctor for the mighty veterans. What makes me a positive role model? I'd say it's a learning process so far. There are certain mistakes you make in life, and you have to be conscious enough to be able to learn from that and to be humble enough to admit where you are wrong and then try to do better as you go along. But as we go further in this discourse, we'll unravel other mysteries. I'll be your host for tonight, and I just want to extend my thanks to all the panelists for being here. Mr. Martin, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Terrelonge, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Henry. We'll now begin with our series of discussion questions. Now, let's hear a little bit from the audience. What does it mean to be a man in Jamaica? Let's get some feedback from the audience before we hear panelists. What does it mean to be a man? You only can be real and that's our pattern. Only can be real. One man, I must tell you what our project is like.
Alright, so in Jamaica as a man, you don't show him.
Alright.
Yes.
Don't show emotions. So we are making all the very things. Next.
It's a whole heap of pressure of like keep up with different aspects of life.
Alright, that's the responsibility. We'll take another feedback from the panelists.
Can provide anybody's like peers.
Project.
Yeah, we can provide for like your mother in the future, your wife, or anybody here. We can provide.
So to be the breadwinner. Alright, Who wants to take that first question?
Be a Jamaican man in Jamaica. Sure, last time you like one on mentality, you have to feel like say you're in charge and you run things. Nobody else can tell you to do that.
All right.
Are you guys here?
Can't talk.
Speak. Okay, I'll answer this
Let's
question.
give the mic. Sorry, let's give the mic. I'll do it. Since you guys do this.
I will answer this question in two ways. First, what does it mean to be a man intrinsically and extrinsically? First, intrinsically, being a man in Jamaica is what, and this is what I think it ought to be, is to take stock of your responsibilities, to take stock of your competencies that you have, and be willing to work on, identify your shortfalls and be willing to work on it. For example, people nowadays is emotional intelligence. And I heard a gentleman say that you're not supposed to show your emotions. Emotional intelligence is a big deal nowadays. So you have to be able to recognize and manage your emotions. And in doing so, you learn to create bridges and more positive experiences. Extrinsically now, in a man in Jamaica is being willing to understand what Jamaica kind of currently is, especially in relation to the chronic powerlessness that we currently experience. As young men, like I hope that we will see this and recognize the role that we should play here. And we can understand that there is younger gentlemen that are looking at you, especially persons here. We understand that university is a microcosm of what we will experience when we graduate. So we need to understand our roles and we need to step up to those roles.
Okay. Let's hear from another panelist.
Alright, so we did announce. Alright, so what does it mean to be a man? Because it's not sure. Right. What does it mean to be a man in Jamaica? Well, I heard somebody say something very interesting in terms of emotionless. I'd like to focus a bit on that in terms of we live in a society where it's a thing where men believe that they need to neglect their mental health or neglect who they are emotionally in order to be represented truly as a man. And so everything that have to do with emotions and expressing emotions, to cry or to be sad or express anything like that, it's not manly, right? And of course, that is a very negative trait in my opinion. I believe we're all emotional beings. I believe that we are made to express ourselves and really keeping it pent up. I think that is problematic in itself. I think that is actually one of the underlying issues to why we have other issues in the society, unfortunately, including domestic violence and so on. Because when you keep everything pent up and you don't express it in other forms, it's going to come out some way or the other. So I think that's one negative trait I wanted to zone in with something we're going to talk about maybe a little more though. So that's my stance on that.
All right, so what makes you a man in Jamaica for me is this. Every single one of you here, you are an example of who a man in Jamaica is supposed to be, or what it really means to be a man in Jamaica. At the end of the day, I mean, we're all born made, you know what I mean? But then throughout life, you have the distinctions. So you find out somewhere, yeah, you were born as a man, but then you know, kind of segue into a real big man, a little boy, or a waist youth, you know, and or a waist man, you know, and quite frankly, it means that you must prioritize your empowerment. You must focus on your empowerment through your education. And whether it's a skill as well, or a trade, or honing whatever God-given talent that you have. Those are the things that make you a man. All right? I'm going to flip the script on what society or the subculture says make you a man. You know what I mean? As you get older, because you're still in a university, right? So you're not supposed to be ready for children and families yet. But as you get older, you realize that also being a man means that you must prioritize your family and your responsibilities as well. So those are the things that make you a man. And as graduates or soon to be graduates of the University of West Indies, as the young kings of Irvine Hall, you must play your part in national growth and development by helping to flip the script. This whole idea of, I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody love go out and party and have some fun and everything else. You know what I mean? But that don't make you a man. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Going to the party and money pull up and everything, and who can drink the most Hennessy and rum and bull, and who can smoke the most weed or the most cigarette and everything else. Them things that don't make you a man, my brother. You know what I mean? Like anybody can do that. You know? But who can literally, like, I mean, how many of you have a relationship with your fathers? How many of you live in single family homes? At least 70%, 65% of the young men in this room were raised in single family homes. That's a statistic. You know what I mean? It's not just a Jamaica statistic, it's a Caribbean statistic. But as young university students, you must have to flip the script. Because anybody can say, yeah man, you have 60, you have 6 baby man and 8 baby. That don't make you a man. Are you prioritizing your family? Are you taking care of them? Are you building a relationship with your sons and your daughters? You know what I mean? Are you teaching them how to show emotions and how to express themselves? Hug your sons and love them and kiss them too and tell them, well, I love you. I believe in you. Are you going to the prize meetings and all that things? Those are the things that make you a man. You know what I mean? You're the phone call right now. Are you being there for your brother? Are you encouraging? Are you saying, boy, yo, God, big man? Yeah. The waste time to be out there and now work. But guess what? We have finals next week, and you want to be the best. You know what I mean? Like a real man helps to lift up his brother and encourage him. You know, you see a break in the dance, and my brother couldn't go in a box, and he said, no, that we are do. Real man do them things, and waste man do like that. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that make you a man. So each and every single one of you has a responsibility to flip the script. I'm not society says, oh, you're just going to make a man. It don't make you a man. It make you a waste man or a man.
Right. So, just to add, or I don't know if there's anything to add to what the minister said, but as he rightly said, being a man in Jamaica or being a man overall is extremely multifactorial, right? And I believe it takes more than what society, especially Jamaican society, deems it to be. As he rightly said, in our society, it's difficult to change what has been put out there as what a man is. As he said, having 5, 6, 7 baby mother, 12 people, all those things we really need to change. We need to change. We need our fathers to be present, present in a man's, in his son's lives, in his children's lives. Even if he's not able to do that financially, and that's an important part. The pressures that we as male face at a very young age is extremely difficult. Coming to the university and some of us can't afford to do the degrees we're doing, right? Let alone to be driving around in whatever car and going to every party and this and that and whatever and trying to show and live the life that we really can't live. Or you know what I mean? And so there's a lot of pressure that we as men come under from a very young age. And we really need to try and make that change, right? And try to become, as we said, positive male role models.
Good afternoon again, everyone. So I agree with most of what has been said thus far. I do also have a slightly different perspective on what it takes to be a man in Jamaica. So, honestly speaking, to be a man in Jamaica is very toxic and stupid. My opinion. Sure. Respect. Very toxic, very stupid, very, immature, you know. I'll give you some examples. Can you hear me, right? Right, can you hear me? Yeah. All right, wonderful. I will teach my class. So, very simplified example. How many females are there? About four. There are about 4 or 5 females here. If any one of you decides to take out any one of those females, or all of them, and you, I don't know, buy them some drinks, you know what people are saying? Take you all that money and that you want. Throw her out, the car out, 100 man. You buy beer in the city. What do you say about it? So we me almost appears as if we prefer men to women. Right? So those things are, I'll just give you a very simplified example. What we glorify in Jamaica, generally speaking now, and when we speak generally, what these things are I want to go with the word, caused by men, since we are the ones who are supposed to be eating. Yeah? Generally speaking, from the moment we're born, we are separated. And by the way, I don't believe that there is much difference between what it means to be a man versus what it means to be a woman. When we're talking about traits. So all of what the minister said, everybody else said. So you don't go spend off all your money on liquor. Obviously, you don't want a woman to spend off all her money on clothes either. So that's financial responsibility, yeah? So man and woman, same thing. Priority. You have exams, you know, up and down with man for road as a woman. Priority. Man and woman. Same thing, right? So we're going to know what else. What else was said here? Leadership. Do we want female leaders or do we not want female leaders in Jamaica? We want female leadership in Jamaica. So all these things, when you get down to the meat and the matter, there's not much difference in what it takes to be a man versus what it takes to be a woman. The only difference, if you made, is that how you operationalize being a woman versus being a man. So you know what, men like feminine women and women like manly women. So if I rock women at the house and the man jump up on that street while you know, that makes you know less of a man than anybody else. So but the point is, there are certain expectations driven by societal norms. And we get it. But I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I will also say this, but I think it's very balanced. Ladies, a lot of the toxic masculinity that we have in the world, and more specifically Jamaica, where the Caribbean, because we have similar characteristics amongst the islands, I've traveled many of them, so more or less the same thing. A lot of the problems that we have as men are influenced by you. You cause it. So when we look at you, they are so. No, I tell you the truth. When you look at you, they are so. That's what I'm going to say. When you finish school, when you finish school, how much money are you supposed to make? On average. On average, money will make it about 120, that's sounds out. Between 80 and 120. Alright, 80 and 120. You come from country. I am from country. How much rent? I'm not sure some numbers. How much rent? That's all. Alright. Never say when you go to pay my place and I have to pay 40 grand. I must go. Right? 40 grand per month. 40 grand. See? How much money left out there? 120. 120. How much money left out there? 120. 80 grand. How much you like water and anything? 120 grand. Alright. No, man. 20 grand. How much money? 60. Alright. Now she start pressure and say she don't want to take no more taxes.
Honda Fit, Toyota Fits, the small car. About 30 to 40 grand, let's do 30 grand. So much we have left? 60 we have left, right? So let's say, out of the 60 we pay another 30 per month. Put on one per month, you pay 30 grand a month to Jay and all of them, to the car. What traffic? 30 grand. Where grocery are coming from? How much grocery? Sir, Let us be generous and say 10 grand. Let us be generous. Let us be generous and say 20 grand. 20 grand. What money there? How much you gas take care? What you gas take care of week? Gas go between November 2020 and now. Every week gas has gone from, with the exception of about 6 different weeks or 7 different weeks. Let me check. Right? In the United States of America, they are seeing the highest inflation in about 20 years. About by 100%. Whatever. So don't quote me on it. Chicken, CD, just sent out some 4 to 5% increase in chicken. What's this going down? Tell me that. With all of that said, how am I going to buy the bridges? How when Valentine's Day comes to start, I'm going to carry on the Pandora bridges. We only have 50 years now. How is that going to be? Which girl I want next Sunday? Which girl is this bucket? Which girl is this bucket? So the point that I'm making, ladies and gentlemen, it's not toxic masculinity, it's not necessarily male driven only. We don't want to stick it shit because people, society, your parents, as soon as they go to school, your parents start to go to them some money. Hey, you need to take care of it. No, and I've seen it many times. I've seen families stop working as soon as they finish. The child or children finish school. Right? A lot of the things that drive our behaviors, whether male or female, toxic masculinity, I've never heard of toxic femininity. I've never heard of it. Right? The point that I'm making is, if we're going to fix what we now have, as disgusting as it is, to be a man in Jamaica, it has to be a holistic effort. It has to come from both male and female. It has to be where you, gentlemen, start choosing girls who don't have a big behind and nice boobs and yeah, feel like, yo, every man wants it and you get it. Behind man. You're man. You become an atheist. And sometimes you draw and it just say you don't have sufficient funds. You get what I'm saying? You have to start to think and you have to demand more. And I'm angry about this on social media, where men are starting to demand more. You never call, broke man, or I told you, broke man and mean man. Mean man and broke man. Because you refuse to spend your money on stupid things that you don't need right now. So what does it mean to be a man in Jamaica currently? Not very wonderful. But remember that in everything in life, it always starts with you and your decisions that you make. And we can all hear preach. The minister can preach. The panelists can preach. The minister of culture and entertainment is right. And I can gender too, and they are creating mostly females. Females are the persons who engage in creativity and the arts and all that. Why? Because if you meet as a man, there's a man in my Jamaica style. Fish. Man not supposed to have them think what you like. So automatically, if you have like things you like, you have to go out and go drink Guinness and things like those. Because red stripe, sorry beer. They look like a black fish. So there are a lot of things that we have to change from ourselves.
And guess what? I'm not as old as many of the persons I interact with daily, but I will leave this with you. By the time you hit 55, 60, you're going to realize how insignificant the opinions of other persons have always been when you're the only person there. With your millions in dividend, you couldn't afford them, so half of them are like it. Failed relationships and the like. Please, I'm telling you, take it from a younger person. Don't do it. What it means to be a manager is not class and legacy and colors and bread. That's all foolishness. Yeah? What it means to be a man overall is to take care of your own responsibilities and ensuring that you as a person contribute to the world as you live. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you, panelists and audience, for wonderful answers to our opening question. We'll come to you shortly. Please try to remember your point. From the conversation so far, the thing that stands out the most is that men aren't emotionally aware as much as we should be. So let's try to segue now into our next question, which is how do we as men cultivate an environment where we become more emotionally aware, and does this make you more emasculated or able to handle your emotions instead of resorting to domestic violence? Let's hear from Nile and Damone. Yeah, let me give a few guidelines. Please, we need to use the mic as much as possible for those watching on the live. And yes, on the live, the mic is needed. And please hold it up, because if we're not talking directly into it, our voice will be distracted. Secondly, try to keep your answers to a minute and 30 seconds. If you're going over, then I'll need to continue. Thank you.
Alright, so try to keep it in the time. Alright, so in terms of creating an environment that is
We're more emotionally aware to make you emasculated, or
to make it emasculated or not. You know, it's quite interesting what your man said earlier in terms of what it takes to be a man to him is what it takes to be a woman as well. Fundamentally. Now, on that basis, the whole idea of certain things being female versus male, I personally, I don't see those boundaries per se. I think that we're all human beings and we're all able to express ourselves certain things, free of discrimination, right? Then furthermore, mental health is a real, very real thing. It's just as real as your physical health, just as real as your social health, mental health. It's not going to go away anymore. If you have a cancer, you go to the doctor. If you have a flu, even sometimes you go to the doctor. So if you have something wrong up here, if something is troubling you, why don't you go to the doctor? Why don't you talk to someone? Right? What's the difference there between taking care of your body and taking care of your mind? Why is it that we consider something feminine to take care of ourselves? We're not using self-preservation to that thing.
yes. But if I could just interject, it is often a situation where, if, for example, a girl who is suffering or who have some built up feelings, the space that some of us men are in, it doesn't allow us to reason to our virgin and tell them that girl, you because I feel like a waste when
No, but I mean, you're not part of the wrong regime.
yeah, so how do we begin to start change the way how we think, the notion that is out there?
Well, you should, and as I said, if you are around people that you cannot go to and express your emotions, that you cannot go to and say, yo, you know, so I feel away, this girl, give me away. My regime right now is in the crowd. Right? It's regular, go to the regime and say, yo, you know, so the girl feel away, man, X, Y, Z, and she tell me something, I feel away, express myself. Because if you keep it up, going to only damage me. I can't keep that pent up. You should keep it pent up either. There is nothing wrong with that. And if you find you don't have the measure, they always express that you need to change different. Well, cut your ways, man. That one.
Because the truth is, right, you have a lot of good friends, right? They have a willing school, they have a very good social life, and work, everything, right? But a lot of us don't know the emotional aspect of life overall. You get me? So if somebody here, you're not even out to them, because the truth is the most I want to say, your brother, just go and hold it, you know. Because when I think about when I start to become some certain level of leadership, I find out that some people really can express something sometimes. When you deep and start the readings and everything, that you understand how to really explain and talk to people and something. Most for enough. And they say people my money, is not even my money. In reality, you gotta go to say I want to or something. That's a boy son, takes what I do. We just don't know how to deal with it. I think that's the question at the end of the chapter. It's how you do it because they can't say that.
And you're three over the two, as much about how universities should be a microcosm of what we're supposed to go to. We need to have university, especially we're talking in this context, is that we're supposed to allow and facilitate spaces, especially for an area, so that you can demonstrate to the males or even a practice session show the value of having some amount of emotional intelligence, as I said before. A practice session, what are alternative dispute resolutions, how does it benefit you, as opposed to resorting to, as you said, domestic violence. If you have a session where me and my girl have a dispute and you say, yo, don't hit her, instead, oh girl, kiss her and make she laugh, and she could not want it. Why would you want to get? But if we see that playing out and see the value of it, I feel like more men will be willing to practice it and will be far more beneficial, because if I see you do it and it works for you and it results in even more conflict, I like you to practice it because I see the value of it. You just need spaces to show men that there is value in other alternative dispute resolutions as opposed to just violence. So just create space, right?
Good afternoon. I fully agree with what you are saying, right? In terms of, I come from Trinidad, right? So what I grew up with is, my father grew up with something different, right? So what he tried and changed for me is saying that I love. I'm sure most men here never hear the father say I love you, right? But that is something that you have to change for the next generation, for them to be able to express themselves at the same time, right? You have to create a space where people are comfortable to you in terms of in school, right? I personally find schools should have spaces where people have counseling sessions. Let's say this discussion here, persons could come in a small group, persons could come and talk about their feelings and things like that. But I guess in Jamaica, I see a lot of toxic masculinity in terms of expressing yourself and just being emotional. In terms of you can't even talk to a girl about why you're upset with her, or talk to a virgin before you fall, or talk to a virgin and let them know it. This is what upset me. You do some, and this is why I feel this type of way, right? But we have to be able to change and actually create a space where you can actually have a discussion with persons.
Yeah. So, in regards to the question, I've been hearing this a lot. Understanding yourself, expressing yourself. But the thing is that the problem is how we're going to do that if many of us don't really understand who we really are. Because the thing is, as men, we follow the crowd and we don't really know ourselves outside of our company that we keep, right? Or we're living somebody else's lives. Right, see that? Know thyself. Right? But the thing is, you don't know yourself, and as such, you can't really understand. So, in order for us to tackle the issue of emotional intelligence, I think we must first need to understand who we really are as a person, as a man, and as an individual, right? And from here, so you need to acknowledge your emotions. Because sometimes people, you get a heartbreak, you want ball because of their friend, you don't want ball. You feel happy, you don't really want to express yourself because that's kind of the stereotype that you grow around, right? But you don't really know yourself as a person, you don't know that you're probably emotional, probably you love this, probably you love that. But because you're living in somebody else's life and you feel like you love badness, really and truly you do it, right? You love your small cuddles, them, you love kiss a woman in public, you love your, you know, never the thing here, right? The thing is that first understand and manage your emotions, right? And from there, so I think you are a much better part to understanding yourself and your emotions and how to manage and maneuver your emotions as a
That's what I think.
I can make a statement and ask a question.
Sure.
My statement is, why not educate males on how instead of being harsh on them? So the question I want to ask now, what is the a mechanism which you can use in order to teach males how to express themselves emotionally? Because I think expressing oneself emotionally can be difficult. And sometimes when you express yourself emotionally, people make it seem like you are weak. So, what mechanism or what process do you think we can do to help?
Let's hear the ministers view on that one.
All right, so Mike, yeah. So all right, I'll pick up where you left off with knowing who you are, and it's very important because you realize that okay, fine, you're experiencing certain difficulties, you want to express yourself, and in expressing yourself, it might mean that you want to break down and cry, but you're concerned about what other people think. You know what I mean? And the big elephant in the room, and he touched on it briefly, well, extensively in his presentation. The big elephant in the room is that your average Jamaican man can't truly be himself because if you are trying to truly express emotion, because them things they are, it's too gay, it's too homo, you know what I mean? And there you go, and everything, all right, or most nothing. I mean, and the truth of the matter, even as guys, we joke about it as well, in the sense that, nah, man, them things that this and them things that they are, them things that are home, and things that Christian didn't mention everything. I remember when I was at, before I came to Minister of Culture, when I was at Minister of Education, when we had the football with Casey and Calabar. And the Calabar boys, they were in the auditorium and they were chanting, Casey, this. And I mean, the truth of the matter is that they never, personally, there are other people who wanted that graduating class, no graduation, don't put the track with chance, don't put the chance and everything else. I got to interview the ministers as well, and meet with the school board and everything else and so on. We're getting, different people from different places they wanted. But my thing was that, listen, what happened at Calabar that morning, wasn't just about Calabar. There's something that is embedded in the Jamaican society. You know what I mean? Which says that, and sometimes you even think that they are even thinking about it's an insult. You understand? I mean, a man bad drive on the road. You know what I mean? It is just literally. So we have to find a way. How can you say express ourselves? And in expressing ourselves, we have to know that it is okay not to resort to a violent expression of self. That it's okay to feel emotions and to express them. But we won't tackle that problem. It's not something you can really teach in a class. That is why I mentioned in terms of family. All right, family structure is important. And if you don't have positive male role models in your lives, if you don't have a father or an uncle or a good stepfather, somebody to say, boy, listen, like, this is what it means, or this is how you do everything that you can, and they hug you and show you certain things and allow you to feel that it's okay to have feelings for yourself. It won't change, which is why it is incumbent on every single one of you to flip the script and change the narrative. You know what I mean? But you can't teach your son emotions or how to express himself, or how to deal with everything, all the challenges that come in life. If you start having children at 16, 17, 20, 21, when you yourself are a child. You know what I mean? So your 20s are for you. Your 20s are about empowering yourself, traveling, seeing the world, getting a good job, exploring life and everything else. And so leave the family and the kids and everything else. So when you're in the 30s, and you can, I mean, you'd have had a better chance to know yourself and how to deal with different challenges in life. And I'll say the last one before I switch over the mic to somebody else. Take, for example, a young man, 19 years old, girl got pregnant. She's going through postpartum. She never heard about postpartum yet. Can tell you that. He never heard about it yet. You understand? And as far as he's concerned, she moody, she miserable, she distracted with everything else and stuff. She don't want to take care of the baby. Start argument, book, blah. The majority, we look at percentage-wise, domestic violence, much of it starts because of children. Alright? And who never do this, who never do that, and everything else and stuff. And also the unrealistic expectation that it is a man place to go there, they must watch football or play PlayStation 5 every single day and everything. And the woman, she must clean the house, take care of the baby, do that, everything else and stuff. And he doesn't have the emotional intelligence in us, but non-sexual, or I can do this too. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things, but at the heart of it, family must change, and we can only change the family structure in Jamaica when men like you recognize that if it is that you're going to have families, that you must be there for your children, to teach them love, affection, and just to be there for them as well.
To continue on this point, what about educating individual and males about the difference between dominance and aggression? I think ignorance and arrogance have when I say a great impact on us males or we behave in today's society. Because sometimes a male feel like to be dominant is to beat their spouse or to if they don't express themselves, they just play strong or do certain things. Or to show that they are man, they just to prove to their friends that I am strong. I think some of the problems that need to be addressed is to educate males about dominance, aggression, or the difference between ignorance and arrogance and such. That is just my 2 cents.
There's a question in the
All right, so I think firstly we need to identify and accept that we're having a problem, right? And to speak to, I will call it Mr. Training, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jill. So to speak to his point, to speak to his point, yes, Jamaica is a very toxic place. We are not. And we have to accept it, right? We have to accept it. But what do we do about that? You know what I mean? And I think it starts with yourself. It starts by identifying that problem, right? And accepting that problem and then seeking help. So I'm going to share this to you, because a lot of you probably don't know. You come to university and you pay miscellaneous fee. You don't pay, you're going to pay your tuition to the food. You don't pay your miscellaneous fee, you can't be an exam. What does that miscellaneous fee give you? You know, you get your health card and stuff like that. Of course, don't use it. I expressed to the gentleman on the hall, use your health card, right? But also, you have access to counseling. There's a counseling unit here that no matter how many of you come, they have to accept you, right? It is private, right? Use it. If you accept it, whether you think it's a small problem or not, use it. You have any problems with school, having problems with your parents, having problems with relationships, anything that you do. Or you have to go by the health center and ask something. Yeah, so there's a counseling unit. And again, as I said, so Minister might know this even better than us, and a lot of you might not even know this. 9 out of 10 suicide victims are men. 9 out of 10, that's 90%. 90%. And that's because of, again, the toxic masculinity. We're all keeping things inside. Right? We're afraid to express. It's a fear we're afraid to express. Right? And it starts with ourselves. So as you said, you feel like there's nobody you can speak to. If you become that person that your virgin can come, then we started to make that change, right? Because then when you bring forth your son, your daughter, they can come to you and say that you know, so this going to school and feel a way about it, or that you know, so girlfriend, whatever. Or, you understand what I'm saying? So that's where I think we really need to start that change.
1 minute and a half. All right, so probably I can't quite remember the areas of stuff, but I think I'm good with all the psychology. So I've seen some stuff, some serious stuff, and I've heard some serious stuff. So let me be very frank with you. A lot of what we have said thus far is great. The reality on the ground is most of it won't happen. The reality, let's be frank. Most of it won't happen. It's very easy to say what we should do. As a matter of fact, ask anybody at all, on the road, anywhere, you can probably a madman. They'll probably be able to tell you what they must do to get $1 million, what they must do in their lives, what they must do as men, and what women must do. Probably be able to tell you. But why don't they do it? The truth is, much of what we think and how we behave is generated by the more positive parts of our brain. So what we're going to do is speak about things that we think is the right thing to say, one, and two, that we think everybody else will agree with. So even questionnaires rely on them. Yeah? And that could explain why a lot of, even with a lot of research that we still have mistakes happening and even election results being off and all that stuff. So here's the truth. Until we, and I mean this goes for the entire world, but we're talking about Jamaica now. Until we mandate specific behaviors. Let me give you an example. One of the areas where we hear men being openly honest, it's not the office, it's not really in the barbershop. Sit down now in the barbershop and hear them. And you shoot them. And they will stay there for the entire day because it's therapeutic. It's a chance to talk and open up. This is man very not honest. And then link up and a drink at the bar. It's not. As a man, go to a female say, you feel away. I just call it. Right? When men sit and speak with each other, drinks, barbershop, what happens at that point in time is that because that's always been like that, the feeling that comes once you enter the barbershop is that I'm free. So then you express yourself free. And many of you, some of you have spoken to me before. Not in my capacity as I'm not that type of psychologist. But you've spoken to me. Some of you have spoken to me, ask for advice. People here, right? Ask for advice and something. And what I realize is it's not that men are not direction. It's just that because of what you see around you online, so as soon as somebody tells somebody something, I'm going to tell somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? So the pressure
just do it in a joke. Anything where you think, come on, not necessarily talk about, just run a joke with them. They run the worst of the worst. They run all the time. You run some joke. That's great, they might have a joke. What you start realizing is that the society is what, well, the society alone, their environment is what's causing them to be on their environment, this toxic masculinity. So, as the minister said, I think Kevaughn said it to everybody, you have to start kind of create that space. Yeah, my father never tell me say love me, but no love me. Like the man struggle to show emotions, right? But then when I see my little sister, is 8. I see my sister with my father, that different father, which tells me he doesn't lack the capacity to be emotional. He doesn't. It's just that the society in which he's a part of, maybe he thinks that he will think you weird. Come, let me help you. Kind of thing. So you're gonna get that. So until we create these spaces and utilize, and I like to say meet people where they are. So yes, I get the offices, I get what we should do and what we should do and what we should do. But meet people where they are. Barbershops, bars, whenever men, this big domestic violence thing comes out, and somebody beats somebody, usually a man beating a woman, what usually happens? We have a lot of women's rights groups coming out and a lot of things pointing to, okay, these are places of safety for women. Now, while I agree with that, I actually think that's working it backwards. Because it's not the women who are the problem, it's the men. So no matter how much space you create for your woman, then it is not fixing the problem. It's the marriage. You understand what I'm saying? So until you create them something for man, you're gonna have more and more women finding themselves in these situations. Next thing, final point. I think it was, I had it about 70% of the arguments that are started in relationships outside of children, right? When children are a part of it, a man or woman can. At least over 70%. I don't quote me on the number. It's over 70%. It's caused by money. Now, who's expected to bring the money in? Men. The man not really bringing the money. And one who already starts to feel like a man, we can't tell. Even if he doesn't say it. Start to feel away. As a matter of fact, there are very few men who would feel good to your woman like that. How many of you would prefer if your wives or girlfriends who you live with made a lot more money than you? No, this is a very serious question. How many of you, it's a very serious question. If you genuinely don't feel like that, there's no one of them. But how many of you would feel okay if you making 250,000 a month with your girlfriend or your wife? I'm at 1.5 million. Alright, hold on. 200. Why?
There's nothing wrong with that. I think nobody else says nothing wrong with that. Why? Yeah. Let's work for me.
So you must stay home and do nothing.
We don't really feel our way if the woman are bringing money. When she's spending that means terms of like, she had a head start before me. She had what? Like a head start. No, man, it's all the start at the same time, man. And she's like, well, she's already the opportunity right now. Alright, let's probably say it's her turn.
And you're saying at no point in that you will feel emasculated, you will feel like if she said to yourself, no, when I agree to the care for my, you don't feel like say, shop on to the car, shop outside money.
Yeah. So we're not really depend on like her earnings or anything like that. Even you know, like stuff.
Come on,
I go for my own. But it's true. I think when you say that you basically person that home with a woman have one with it. Right? Personally, I wouldn't feel with it.
Right. No, I'm not saying you should. I'm just trying to get, because let me tell you why I said that. Many times when you ask a question like that, man, also you want to believe that other people when they ask them why, they don't really have an answer. Go ahead.
The problem with that is whenever the woman is making more than the man, she feels the need to start to feel like she's the man of the relationship. And that's all.
And what does that mean?
She knows.
What does that mean when she feels like she's the man of the relationship?
Hold on, guys. Sorry, go ahead.
Use the norms that we just speak of. Not too long ago, women is going to think they should make more money than the man. If they should make more money than the man is now the woman of the relationship. And that's pushed on.
Just what does that mean? What does that mean, sir? What happens? Give me an example.
Alright, the girl make 1 million and then make 250,000. She feels like she have all nice shots in the house now. So
Like, so you are listening what's that?
yeah, and she buy things.
So you want
have a shot then? Hold on. Guys, I can't. The moderator needs to start with it, but I'm just trying to understand. So is it that you're saying to me that it's okay as long if you wouldn't say, and this was the buy, I don't want to buy.
The girl will have more upset than the man is more upset.
Wow. Whoa. No, I'm like, he's being very honest. Alright? No, he's being very honest. And if we're going to be ourselves, you see that point society that the other way around. So he's being honest. Right? Anyway.
And that leads us to segue into another part of our discussion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Paternity Act that is, it's not put in place as yet, but basically, I mean, statistics have shown that many countries such as Scandinavian countries, Norway, Finland, and so on and so forth, they are allowed to connect more with their youngsters such at young age, and it helps them a lot in terms of opening up and getting more expressive with them. So let's hear the status of that from the minister about the Paternity Act and
All right, so if I, Mike, yeah, all right, good. So, all right, well, if I had the memo on the Paternity Act, etc., I don't think any of my sisters passed that on to me. If they had, I would have done the research on it, and I would have probably brought a draft to do a presentation on it. But so I don't have that with me, and I've never been on a panel where I've never had an answer for a question before. So this is the first. But I don't think we must be by the door, all right? It's not every time somebody asks you a question you can have the answer, and it's okay, all right? You can say, well, you know, I don't know, but guess what? I can get back to you on that one. What I will say though, my feelings on it is that I think Jamaica should get to the point. And as a parliament, the discussion agrees. Some persons believe, some persons are of the view, some members of parliament are of the view that no, Jamaican man is supposed to get no paternity leave because it don't mean nothing in Jamaica because one man go on every 6 months he might go on the leave because like every 6 months he might have like a new child. You know what I mean? How do you balance that? You know, but of course, so then you have to look at, well, all right, so if we get to this thing, we have paternity leave. So as a man, you're entitled to, let's say, paternity leave of, let's say, 3 months or a month, but you're entitled to it every 2 or 3 years within the same organization that you're working. It can't be that because you decide, so well, it can't be that because you're a crowd and you think, say, make that man to have 6 children every single year, that they can kind of paternity leave and stuff. So no, the law, we would not agree to that position. So within an organizational structure, it is, well, yes, you can get whatever, there's 1 month per 3 months, and within a time period, say like every 2 or 3 years, then you get eligible for it. I believe so as a father, I have 3 sons, and I can tell you, first of all, hats off to every single woman who literally contorts her body to go through a pregnancy. A pregnancy is not easy. And when I hear of 16-year-olds and 11-year-olds, right now we have 2 11-year-olds in a particular place who are pregnant, 11 years old. You know what I mean? And it's rough, it's difficult, because your body's not meant to do that at 11. And you know what I mean? Yes, in the old days, 12, 13, 14, 15, I mean, it was happening, but it's modern times now. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be in school, you're still a child. But so hats off to every single woman who's ever born a child, because it's not easy. You know what I mean? And we need to get our young men to the point where they understand that it's not just the woman who gets pregnant. You understand? As a man, you have a role to play, not just in getting her pregnant, but also in being a part of the next 9 months. You know what I mean? You must go into the health center, or to the clinic, or to the doctor to do a part of the checkup, so you must happen to the baby. You must be there as well when the doctor puts on the thing and put on the gel and is doing the ultrasound and all those things as well. You know what I mean? And you must be there to play your part. When people have ball at night time, you must be getting up 6-7 times at the night as well to either change nappy or change diaper or to the feeding and everything else and so. And which is why I say if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready for that at 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and everything and so, you're not ready for it at 16 or 17. You know what I mean? Because when you prioritize your family and your responsibilities, those are the things that make you a man. So I would advise every single one of them to get what on a father they do on the older brother and the brother and things and so, wait until you're in your 30s. All right? It is an awesome feeling to be a father. It is also a mammoth of a responsibility to be a good father. Because you can be a regular sperm donor, I know that will make you a man. All right, being a good father. All right, being a part of your child's life and being there from day 1 straight to when they're 18, 21 hours for the rest of their lives. It's not easy. It's very difficult. And I can any parent to tell you that sometimes you put them annoy them, sometimes they want to run with you. You know what I mean? Like you just want to spend them with their grandmother or send them with you or send them with you. But you know what I mean? So it's not easy and it doesn't make you a man. So just take your time and be careful and everything else. It's important. And Jamaica we will get there. But of course, it is for men who are responsible fathers in terms of how we treat the paternity plan. We're not very just yet.
Oh yes, I have a question, sir. Totally unrelated, but sitting at the council, if there is a council with the ministers of every sector,
Cabinet.
yeah, cabinet, who thought of it as a good idea to make abortion illegal?
Okay, so all right, no, I love this topic so much. So now listen, let me tell you something, right? In 2011, 12, all right, I represented a doctor. So yeah, so my time now to be the lecturer and take 15 minutes on the mic, right? But all right, so I did a case many years ago, 2011, 12, all right? And I represented a doctor who performed an abortion on a 12-year-old child. The girl passed her, Jesus, just passed our Jesus, right? I did come in entrance. You probably never heard of it. Anyway, so she passed a particular girl's high school, right? And the mother took her to get an abortion. She went to the country that summer, all right? Mother sent her daughter to the country, you know. And whether it was there to this day, I don't know whether it was a grandfather or uncle or a cousin or somebody, but somebody raped that little girl. I don't think the incest or whatever. They raped the little girl as she's 12 years, she can't consent. Raped her. She comes back to Kingston, she's pregnant. She tells her friend, I'm pregnant and everything else and stuff. The friend tells her mother, all right? The girl mother takes her, so the mother's aware, she has the abortion and everything else and stuff. When school starts, the girl mother said, well, hold on, sister, you never said, Maxine, pregnant, with a belly, they wanted a baby. So the girl tells her she had an abortion, all right? The friend mother now called police, everything, and so police come in now. The girl is arrested. Well, she's taken to a home, place of safety. Yeah, that's a deal. Mother is arrested, doctor is arrested, everything. So I arrested the doctor. Go to court and everything else, and so of course the judge being sanctimonious and everything else, and so on and so on. So on the books it's illegal. But this is a law that was made by fossilized men, some more than back in the 1800s. And there's a quote I have here from one of my articles, because the way the thing did lit me. The first article I wrote on abortion was in 2013, and then I wrote another one recently. True gender equality cannot be achieved unless and until we relinquish our basic desire to enslave, control, and police the body and dignity of women. A woman must have the very basic. A woman must have the very basic human freedom to make autonomous decisions concerning her own body. Our common humanity demands that we respect the humanity of all our women and abolish our antiquated abortion law, which shackles true female empowerment between the brutal and agonizing grip, and I love this part, of a misogynistic and patriarchal era that ought to be obsolete. So it's not this cabinet or this government. This is something that we inherited from the British. The law is an 1800s, it's a 19th century law. And whilst England has gone away from decades ago, changing their law, all right, because of religion and because of fear, we've held on to this law, which makes absolutely no sense. All right, Cuba, Guyana, Barbados, they have done away with this law from, I think, like 1995, early 2000. All right, then now across the world, we have like, I mean, listen, Spain, like devout Catholic. I live in Spain for the period of time. It takes them devout Catholic. All right, Argentina, devout Catholic. Ireland, devout Catholic. And they've done away with the law as well because it's oppressive, it is repressive, you know what I mean? So now, big up MP Comfort Flynn, you know, and she's actually brought the private members motion to severe. And even leading up to 2016, 2020, last year election, some people thought that, all right, well, church not going to go to Terrelonge because Terrelonge talk about abortion, church not going to go to Comfort Flynn because Comfort Flynn talk about abortion and everything. And what people in Jamaica don't realize is that the polls have shown that some more than 60% of Jamaicans now favor the right of women to have an abortion. So I look forward to the day, because we've had the parliamentary committee, I sat on the committee as well. We've done the recommendation, is to come back to parliament on a conscience vote. Alright, so each member of parliament is supposed to do the stakeholder meeting with their constituents and then come back and vote accordingly. Alright, and I am looking forward to the day when between Brogan and Dr. Tufton, say, all right, but I can't think of a parliament because we should never make proper things on the post. All right, and then them stand up section and said, it is time to end it. So, that is, I'm glad you raised it because a real man also understands that he must allow a woman to make any decision regarding her body, including how many children she wants to have. You as a man, yes, you might want to have 4 children, everything and something. But if your partner says we can only got 2, rest of it to don't pressure because you don't know what she goes through. I mean, it is a mental quagmire as well as a physical quagmire. You know what I mean? So, we're going to have to learn that things. And if we never hear about postpartum yet, we're not ready to eat it. Google it, look it up. Just vote JLP, that's all.
Alright, so based on the discussion so far, I think a very suitable question would be given that women are becoming are rising in terms of their socio-economic status, then that leaves a situation where we find men are in a position where they are staying at home taking care of their children. That happens in a lot of countries, but that doesn't seem, or that's far from becoming the norm out here. What are your thoughts on that, and does this redirect men's role in society?
Well, I never really decided how to get sorry, but because I was thinking that it was my question.
But the question wasn't intended to be what just given that you're only father that
Okay.
probably suited for you answering them way.
All right. So,
The question is basically asking, given the women are now taking up more position in society, that gives men the position to stay at home, raise their children, and so on and so forth. How do we, what are your thoughts on that? And how do we, as men, those roles are being redirected,
right.
the roles of men in society.
Okay, so I think that I think that question is perhaps 2 generations early for Jamaica, you know, but it really is, you know what I mean? But I have to pick up these brothers. Yeah, man, yo, get around of applause, man, please. You see, this, remember I started by saying, we said, who's a man in Jamaica, what makes a man in Jamaica? And I said, every single one of you here, just by virtue of being here. You know what I mean? And my brothers right here, you know, because they're not in 20s, maybe you just left out of your 20s and everything else and stuff. And they're not in priorities, you know what I mean? And that is what makes you a man, as I said, prioritizing your personal empowerment. And to get to that point when you can prioritize your family responsibilities. And when I can sit down in a room with young brothers in their 20s and everything else and so on, and then I have to eat and everything, like, I love that because it means that they're that kind of responsibility. And I then things that we need to normalize. You get me? You know, and our lecturer mentioned something about you know, he mentioned about the women and sometimes their expectations of men and how it affects how men behave. I can tell you this, like more time in my constituency office, you know, whenever you come to me, or several of you come to me. I mean, I remember one 19 years old, and I said, boy, MP, like, you know, who else to talk to? You know the one who I'm talking about? Yeah, in girlfriend and pressure, so she ready for baby. Right now, my she now work and him now work. Mother a pressure, you understand, saying don't school from when? I said don't school from about 16. Right? You don't school from a time for your baby. Grandmother pressure, so she wants to get grand before she did. She found baby. I mean, and you just said, what MP you know what to do? Because more and go up to school from having 60 years. You understand? Not just 19, but already for a baby, but the environment that he lives in. You understand? The environment is all come from because I got from a born and bred. Alright? So don't think somebody just wake up one morning and just a box dropping in the law office. You understand? No, and then just a box and dropping outside and everything is and so grandparents come from. Right? But the communities that we're from, yeah, would try to tell us that this is gonna make you a man. And by 19, 20, you're supposed to have 2 youth already. You understand? Of course, because you jump up at the building truck and they're foolish. You are hate to the thing every Jewish fathers, they are hate. You know what I mean? Like you stay on the truck as long as you want. You don't come off the truck before you have 30. Don't come off the truck before you have your house. You have the subject, then you have the education, you have the job, and you've traveled and you've seen some part of the world. Otherwise, the rest of your life, you're going to be stranded. You know what I mean? And it goes back, you're honestly Irvine, big up with yourself. This right here, know thyself. You see, once you know yourself, no community or environment or anybody else so one scenario is 2 generations early because we're not quite there yet. But what I will say is that I think that the you know, your average Jamaican man, and again because of the socialization, all right, we're not at that point yet where the average Jamaican man feel like, well, yeah man, I'm still man take care of it and everything else and stuff. Mind you, you have some man, a whole man, they don't mind the woman who earning the money and buying them and everything else and stuff. Especially in that 20 bracket and everything else and stuff. They love that and you mind, then they would have the man, they would have bigger man, who will take care of them and everything else and stuff. Just spend the money on them and then type of hotel and eat food and all kind of things and buy their car. They don't mind that. But they don't want to be home taking care of children. You understand? They want to be out, plastic and spend the money and enjoy their life and live a life. And what you realize is that once you start having children, your life is no longer yours again if you're going to do it properly and do it the right way. So our European counterparts, they're there, but we're not quite there yet because you still have some 70% of our households that again single parent, usually the mom grandmother type scenario and everything. And that's a whole other discussion. It was 300 years of slavery and what slavery did in terms of family structure and everything else and stuff and where we are where we are. But that's another discussion. Yeah, so we're not at paternity leave as yet. However, I mean, we will get there. All right, and again, there's going to be certain structures in place. Some persons are saying where you have to be in a common relationship for maybe like X amount of time. You have to be living together, all of those things, married or living together, all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because if you're not with the partner, she lives on Mona and you live on St. Catherine and everything else and stuff, and she's going to be taking care of the baby. Well, then waiting for her to leave home. You're not going to be there if you're part of the child, not going to be there because the child is your mother. You both live together, then she needs to continue to work, or maybe you both will stay home and take care of the child. So it's a lot of dynamics that's been worked out as well.
Yeah, just to answer the question, I think many of us need to understand that a relationship is a partnership, and then a partnership is support each other. And as men, we have somewhat of a selfish mentality when, especially we see our women excelling past us, we don't like that, right? So when you see women excelling right now in the top CEO positions, and you in a managerial position or probably just in a regular worker, you're not gonna like that, right? And that's where the issue lies, because in a relationship, you're supposed to be supporting each other, building each other, because your woman is a reflection of yourself, right? And I think many of us need to understand that, right? Now, personally, I love my women, and I believe in woman empowerment. I grew up with 6 sisters, I have no brothers, so I learned to appreciate women. But not everyone is fortunate enough to be in situations like that, because not many of us are in environments as such, because, you have violent communities, they grow in toxic masculinity, and all of that. But as men, we need to know how to appreciate our women and support each other, because nothing is wrong if your woman is excelling past you, right? That's completely fine, because you can't just want yourself to just be excelling all the time and winning and carrying on money, because what sense does that make? You want to just the one spot and now move and then a party shop. Exactly. As a souvenir put up in the housewife, trophy wife, as you know how we call it. Yeah, exactly. That's not benefiting nobody. You're not having no form of holistic development, family-wise or as a man. Because a real man supports his wife. A real man builds his wife. And by yourself as a man. So personally, I really do love when women are excelling. I really do love a woman with a top CEO job, because that's what it's all about, right? Supporting each other, excelling, doing great things, and just reaching further in life. So as men, I think we need to just acknowledge that, and we're not gonna reach that right now because realistically, not one not gonna really accept it right now. It's a learning process and it's a step-by-step process. But we're not gonna reach there overnight, but we need to start taking the small steps. From those like this are very good for men who don't really know how to be a better man, because they don't really have the type of friends around you to motivate you and share the knowledge with you as to how you can be a better man. So sessions like this are actually very, and you need to encourage more talks like this with not just yourself or your friends, but persons around you. Speak to them, build each other, how you can help each other, how you can help you. So personally, I do love the fact that excelling. I think as men we need to more support our women and build each other so that we can have a better and stronger family. So that's
I have a recommendation. I have a recommendation for Kymani, because we stand guild. Yeah, I think it is very good for the guild, and especially with all the hall chairs, to have even so each hall maybe once a week or 2 weeks, each male empowerment seminar. You know what I mean? And anything whatever you want to call it, mentor, young kings raising, whatever you want to talk about, your brothers, whatever. But and you do it. So you don't just have this happening on International Women's Day You know what I mean? But every 2 weeks a different part. So we have a powers, next week we have a kingdom who have a different and so. And the deal running interested like that and getting on.
We don't even focus on this one, we can include women because at the end of the day, it's kind of a fundamental thing. What helps us also helps our women. So we can just make it as a one initiative. Does that make sense?
Alright, so just a small point that I just wanted to say. So actually saw a video the other day on someone's status about the importance of consistency. And it was like going through saying, if you go to the gym one day and you come back to look here, you're not going to see anything. You come back the next day, you're not going to see anything. You come back the day after that, you're not going to see anything. We just have to that process is going to produce results. And once you trust that the process is going to produce results and you keep consistent, you're going to see results. So I really agree with you earlier on that it's not just discussion that we have around certain times or around certain events, it's a discussion that we continually have. Right? And we have a lot of formats that we could do so just cases and so on, and I have a lot of discussions, but there's so much of them. Right? I just wanted to say something to this. It's funny how you said that, Kymani. I thought about a recent experience that I had in terms of a girl approaching me and saying that in relationship she started as a friend. I was like friend. But in really retrospect, about I think a real relationship is symbiotic, and I think that's what we're trying to do for. So it's not about man and woman per se saying, all right, I'm going to be Mr. Objective. I think it's about mutual support and going like for whatever you're here for her and vice versa, right? And I think that really should be the ideal case for any relationship or any health relationship. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Emphasize on the mother.
Okay. The minister has said 2 generations away. I think we're a little bit closer than that because I remember the last statistics I looked at, probably about 85% of you is females.
No. It's the man being it's the man accepting that he was still on with it.
Yes, I'm with that solution. The current climate that we have now, we're getting that the man is being placed action on the woman. So it's either they're going to step up or they're going to accept that the roles are supposed to reverse. But if a man is willing to do that, we need the framework that allows that, especially in the paternity act. If a woman is a career to be woman, really or not, and you don't have paternity leave where you can facilitate her going back to work even earlier while you stay home with the children, that partnership is there. You need that framework to allow for even if the man is saying, I'm going to take a step back and support my woman so that she can excel in her career. We need that framework there that supports it because if he's going to take a 2-week sick leave, that will help him to have a paternity leave or share between himself and his wife. His wife takes 12 weeks, he takes 17 weeks. She gets back to work earlier and he can support the children and work. It's wonderful that in this space because you get that creating and generating generational wealth. And if your parents, both your parents are working, and even say they purchase a food, you're going to take with that will pass on to your next generation. The skills that you get, that the woman goes into the workspace and brings home, the man brings home, and you teach your children, and then to accept that and to allow it and facilitate that, it really helps. And I think, especially the role of generation wealth, both parents working and securing that wealth to pass on to their children, especially in Jamaica. It's amazing. I really appreciate it because the effect of fatherlessness on Jamaica is, I believe, is the root of the majority of our problems. So anything that is the father back into the life of his child or children is something that I support.
Thank you very much, panelists. Regrettably, we have to wind down soon. But just real quick, final question to Kevaughn. The conversation has been, we've been mainly talking about emotional awareness and fatherhood support. But let's just ask one real quick question, 1 minute. As men, going forward, how do we invest in ourselves health-wise? So when we start thinking about getting certain checks, prostate check, for example, different health checkups because it's often ignored that, we don't like with the doctor. So, real quick, Kevaughn, what's your thought on
Right, so as a lot of, I see a couple MBBS students in here, a lot of them newly third year students, a lot of them new students. I myself, I'm a new clinical student, but I've been in the health sector, assisting and working for quite some years. And as you rightly say, men typically know what to go to the doctor. What can we do to fix that? So I think my first recommendation is to start your annual checks or biannual checks, whichever is easier for you. A lot of us pay health insurance for our family. A lot of us have health insurance from work. And again, we sit down and all we use it, we just eat such a core and garden and all that, and then sit down and make the money and pay them dirty. No. But go on the annual checkups or your biannual checkup. And also, you can look into going to the dentist every 6 months. Simple things like that. Now, what we're trying to eliminate, or what I believe, the doctors and the Ministry of Health and everybody involved in health is trying to eliminate, or not eliminate, but try to find early, is the onset of a particular disease or infection or something like that. Right? So if you sit at home, you have diabetes, you sit at home, you get a cut, you see the cut start, let's spare you guys the gruesome pictures of it. But you present to the hospital with this foot that's in a bad way. One of the only recommendations we're going to do is cut it off. Right? So we need to start taking our health. You can't work hard every day, you can't enjoy money. Right? And again, as the forum is about, we need the men around to be in their children's life. And you can't do that if you're in the hospital. You can't do that if you're sick. You can't do that if you're in the bed and you can't get up. You know what I mean? When we speak about prostate exams, ideally I believe the age is 40. That's where you need to start coming every year to check on that. And if you're predisposed, so if somebody in your family has prostate problems, you're looking at 30 or 35 to start checking that. And it's important that you tell your doctor that. Right? Doc, say grandfather did have prostate problem or father had prostate problem. And it's very important that you have any little problem, go and speak with your doctor.
Thank you very much. It's around 10 minutes after 9, and we don't really want to weary the audience. I think this was a very to this takeaways we can leave with. Right before we close the section, let's just take one question from the audience. Question? Alright, so given that there's no question, we'll just segue into a rendition from the Irvine Performing Arts Society. Are you here? Alright, so in the interest of time, until he comes, whenever he gets here, we'll just ask Jason to come forward and give a vote of thanks to our panelists for taking their time to come and talk to us. Alright, you guys know. He'll be giving a rendition.
Good night, everyone. All right. So I find it appropriately fitting. Yes, sir. Fittingly appropriate that tonight our panelists have all shared the same sentiment that I had earlier this morning.
Traveling through inner space, slowing at a constant pace, focused and relaxing at the same time.
As I was saying, I find it fittingly appropriate that the panelists and I had the same sentiment when I was talking to members of my physics department, wishing them well International Men's Day. So let me just say, let it be known whatever type of man you are valid. You have nothing to prove. You are no less of a man because you don't like sports or beer or because you allow yourself to feel. There's so much talk about what a real man is, and the definition changes from country to country, culture to culture, era to era. So just be you. Don't pretend. Don't allow the world to pressure you, but also don't close your mind. You are a man, but you are not unchangeable, impervious, infallible, nor are you inherently evil, violent, or wicked. You are human. That's all. So just do you and be a good person and encourage others to embrace positive change. Today, the song I will be singing for you is entitled Man in the Mirror. I do believe that good reflection on oneself can help to make us agents of change and to be better than we were yesterday.
And deconstruct. I'm gonna make a change for my gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I walk up and call on my favorite wings to go, this wind is blowing my mind. I see kids in the street, nothing to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle's heart, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the way to know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with a man in the mirror. My skin can change its ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, you can look yourself and then make a change. Ooh. Na, 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 na. Oh, I'm selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize that there are some with no home, and I live alone. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? The widow deeply scarred, a broken heart, and a one-man soul. can't you see? Cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look yourself and then make that change. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look yourself and then make the change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. If you close your heart, you close your mind. If you wanna make the world a better place, gonna make a change for what's in my life.
Thank you.
We're going to invite Jacob to come forward.
So, Honorable Minister, esteemed guests of the panel, Urbanites, good night again. I'm privileged to be chosen to give the vote of thanks to you. And I would just like to say that on behalf of the mailbox of Irvine, on behalf of the Hall Committee and Irvine at large, I extend our hearty thank you for being here gracing us with your words, with your wisdom, with your findings on Jamaican men and the society, the road society, and how we can be positive role models to ourselves and to others around us. I know that you guys would have preferred to not be here on a Friday night, probably partying or drinking or sleeping.
Stereotyping.
But just to show a token of appreciation, I would like to present you with just some tokens from us to show that we appreciate you being here. And for that, for each member, we actually have someone to present to you your token. And for the first person we have is Mr. McIntosh. Now, Mr. Someone to come up here, please. Please, here, Mr. Someone. Ronaldo. I almost called him my name and I don't think you want to call him my name. So, alright, so for next person, I'll actually ask Mr. Garland. Asha, are you here? Yes, you are. Can you please take sure this is it? Shamar Compos. Alright, DJ. Yeah, everyone, EJ, everyone. I'm still winning. Mr. McIntosh, you first. If you could, guys, please wear your mask while we present. Someone to make presentation to Mr. McIntosh, please. For those who don't know, Ronaldo's name is Knight Rider.
Mr. Knight Rider.
In the spirit of COVID, we're actually social distancing and also with the son of. Yeah. Please. Come on, please step forward, please. We'll have Jonathan Stone. Grumpy. Step forward, Grumpy.
Ranky them.
Mr. Shaw to step forward, please. I will ask Mr. Garo to make his presentation to Mr. Shaw. So Mr. Garo is very tall than Kymani. He's very tall. He's in the Shiki. Mr. Shares the same but we're not brothers going to put brothers by heart, you know. Like Mr. TJ Maxwell, two alumni. Mr. Shamar compose from the country with the presentation, so it's follow good brother. And now for our esteemed special guest, we have Mr. Terrelonge. Mr. Terrelonge to step forward. I would like Mr. Irvine on this to make the presentation.
So, good night, everyone. You know, I definitely want to say thanks again for the panelists, but this vote of thanks is for, you know, the people that really with the word and the back end, you know. I'm a man of very few words as everyone will know here, right? But I must truly say, you know, I really have to big up the man for the plans, you know. I want everyone to know that it's actually was conceptualized by the angel. Big up the angel for that and bring it all together. So you got all the men on the hall, right? And the different block groups and want to mobilize everybody and really do their right? And really want to say, just big up everyone, big up Jeffrey, Deputy All Chair, all the block groups and Deputy block groups. It was an excellent work on administration side, all these scenario as well, right? And these are some of the things that we definitely want to say for in the space. We haven't seen one of this in a very long time. I really want to really proud of Monday to execute this. So Monday must speak up for himself again and job well done.
And Zane said, I just want to offer my thanks as well to everyone who came on board and made it a successful event. Really from the top, thanks for the SSDM for her endorsement and for her guidance as well, and for giving us a very good area sure that everything went seamless and give a few tips here and there in the program. So big up Zane, he's area in charge. the side here and my deputy clerk. So because throughout the week, we had several challenges and everything. All of them came in clutch and really helped us in getting to where we are. So it is a collaborative effort and team effort. And also the hall chair, the deputy hall chair came on board. Also thanks to Sheldon for making all the graphics and flyers you saw. Our PR as well for ensuring that we had a live stream to YouTube, which was seamless, and so those who weren't here were able to join us otherwise. This is the end of my thanks for panelists who came on to help us have a discussion, and for you, the men and the ladies as well who came out to support the event. I hope that whatever we said here, we'll start to practice it in our daily lives, piece by piece, until we begin to see a gradual change, because slow progress is still progress. All right. So this is the end of this course. I believe that that will be being Irvine vibes up and Black vibes up. That's still a thing. Within that Jeffrey,
Yeah, afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But afterwards.
All right. So thank you all for coming out to this event and
Big up.
Monday.